much of the language of conflict is entwined with the issue of faith, I'll leave it to the theologians to indulge in the semantics of religious discourse. The faith I wish to mention is of a more humble nature. It is the belief that what has not yet occurred may yet be molded. It is more than hope, but less than knowledge. It is the belief that something not imminent or visible or tangible is yet approaching. We have faith in the mission of ATFP to work through the channels available to us as American citizens to help bring about peace and prosperity to Palestine and to the Middle East. Your being here tonight indicates that your faith in the possibility of peace with justice between Israel and Palestine is possible. Moreover, the presence of tonight's distinguished speaker here is an act of faith. The Secretary of State of the United States can choose to lend her status to any number of causes, and tonight she has elected to be here. And herein lies the virtue of faith. Faith extends itself without assurance. Faith relies on the courage of the bearer, that the pursuit of a resolution of an issue is worthy of the risk of disappointment. Faith is the culmination of the human spirit's desire for a better world. And yet, every day, in every corner of the world, what has been called faith has been twisted into both oppression and violence. We, in the name of faith, have to reject both. The essence of true faith is in its universality. It is that fairness, freedom, compassion, dignity, and wisdom can come into being, even where there is no justice, where there is occupation, imprisonment, impoverishment, humiliation, and extremism. I welcome you to search for such a faith, a simple request in difficult times. Now, without further delay, it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce to you tonight Secretary of State, Dr. Condoleezza Rice.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I would first like to thank Dr. Ziada Saleh for that wonderful introduction, but more importantly, I would like to thank you for your leadership and for your commitment to this very important cause and for your friendship and counsel over my time as Secretary of State. Thank you very much for all that you do. I applaud the American Task Force on Palestine for highlighting the success of Palestinian Americans and for your continued support of all who work for peace in the Middle East. The Palestinians are some of the most talented, best educated, and hardest working people in the Middle East. What they need more than anything are opportunities to prosper. And last November, I personally worked with parties to create an opportunity, an agreement on movement and access to help the Palestinians travel more freely and transport their goods to market. It is important that we continue to work so that Palestinians and Israelis can implement this agreement. I know that sometimes a Palestinian state living side by side in peace with Israel must seem like a very distant dream. But I know too, as a student of international history, that there are so many things that once seemed impossible, that after they happened simply seemed inevitable. I've read over the last summer the biographies of America's founding fathers. By all rights, America, the United States of America, should never have come into being. we should never have survived our Civil War. I should never have grown up in segregated Birmingham, Alabama, to become the Secretary of State of the United States of America. And yet, time and time again, whether in Europe or in Asia or even in parts of Africa, states that no one thought would come into being, and certainly not peacefully and democratically, did. And then looking back on them, we wonder, why did anyone ever doubt that it was possible? I know the commitment of the Palestinian people to a better future. I know firsthand the commitment of President Abbas and moderate Palestinians to that future. And I know the commitment of the people in this room and of the American Task Force on Palestine that one day, indeed, there will be a Palestinian state living side by side in peace with Israel. I can only tell you that I, too, have a personal commitment to that goal, because I believe that there could be no greater legacy for America than to help to bring into being a Palestinian state for people who have suffered too long, who have been humiliated too long, who have not reached their potential for too long, and who have so much to give to the international community and to all of us. I promise you my personal commitment to that goal. Thank you very much.
السيدات والسادة، الحضور الكريم، اسمحوا لي بداية أن أتوجه بالشكر إلى مؤسستكم The American Task Force for Palestine وللصديق العزيز الدكتور زياد عسلي على ما تقومون به من جهد وعمل لمساعدة شعبنا الفلسطيني. كما أتوجه بالتحية والتقدير إلى الشعب الأمريكي الصديق الذي يواصل تقديم مساعداته إلى شعبنا في كافة المجالات، وخصوصا في إعادة إعمار البنية التحتية والعديد من المشاريع الحيوية الأخرى، مما سيكون له دور في بناء دولة فلسطينية مستقلة ديمقراطية تعيش جنبا إلى جنب مع دولة إسرائيل بأمن واستقرار. إننا أيها السادة نثمن الجهود التي يبذلها مواطنو الولايات المتحدة من أصل فلسطيني وعربي، الأمريكان الفلسطينيون والعرب، في خدمة الولايات المتحدة والشعب الفلسطيني، خاصة بوجود مؤسسات مثل مؤسساتكم التي تسهم في توجيه الرأي العام الأمريكي، مما يؤدي أيضا إلى دعم حل القضية الفلسطينية وإقامة السلام الشامل والعادل في المنطقة. إن تكريمكم اليوم للسادة جون سنونو وجيس عويضة ومجيد.
For too long, the Palestinian people have endured great injustices and hardships. Many thousands live in hopeless poverty, and thousands more have been uprooted from their homes and forced to live in the diaspora. All have been deprived of minimum human and national rights, and their plight has been an open wound constantly irritated by unjustifiable occupation, painful oppression, terrorism, and deep-rooted enmity. But tonight, to those Palestinians who have overcome the many obstacles raised by the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, we give praise. And I believe we in the global community should find needed and timely inspiration here. It is time the global community overcomes its own obstacles to put an end to the suffering of Palestinians.
It was at a fairly young age that I recognized that my family background was somewhat unique. I was definitely the only person in my class with a Palestinian-American father who was born in Havana and grew up in New York City. At least I was pretty sure that that was the case. But it was a special family background. Growing up, I saw at a very early age the pride my grandfather had of the fact that he grew up in Jerusalem, that he went to school within the walls of the Old City. My grandmother's of Arab descent was born in Central America. And it made for a family history that I think naturally encouraged me and my brothers and sisters to learn more about our background, of course, but learn more about the world, to better understand the Middle East, the complexities, the challenges that we're facing that part of the world, and America's role in helping to address some of those challenges, problems. If there's anything I learned, I suppose, from watching my father's work, I learned that you need to be prepared to take advantage of opportunities. You simply can't wake up one day, see an opportunity, and grab at it without having done the work necessary to take advantage of that situation. And to be prepared to deal with an opportunity when it arises in the Middle East. We need to expand our effort in public diplomacy. We need to do a better job of providing humanitarian assistance to the Palestinians and others in the region. And we need to make every effort, not simply in the future when an opportunity arises, but starting today, to build lasting relationships with our many Arab allies in the region. Otherwise, we won't be prepared to take advantage of the opportunity when it comes.
Thank you very much, John. Let me just take advantage of the microphone, and I know time is passing, but I do think this is a milestone event this evening. It really is, and we should appreciate how significant it is. I cannot imagine that my grandparents from Jerusalem could ever think of such a gathering as this, in which her grandson, their grandson, and their great-grandson would be participating like this, one an old governor, the other a young senator, at a gala of Palestinian Americans in the state of Washington, in the District of Columbia, the capital Washington City of the United States. And so it is a milestone event. That the emotion that we show in front of our television sets does not shape policy. It is the reasoned and credible voices that we can convey when we come together that provides an impact. And in that context, I want to especially thank Ziad Asli and the American Task Force for Palestine. Make no mistake about it, until Dr. Asli made the commitment and the sacrifice to begin and develop this organization, there was truly not a single organization with a credible voice that could influence at all the policy of the United States on the Palestinian issue. And Ziad has made a difference.
You know, Senator Sununu and his father and I have very different views on whether or not New Hampshire should continue to play a dominant role in the election of the president. But at least we can agree on the importance of ATFP. I am actually... The ATFP is filling a much-needed role in Washington by promoting awareness of the importance of Palestinian statehood to American security, by keeping the hope for two states, Israel and Palestine, living next to each other in peace and security, vibrantly before us, and for not allowing us as Americans to give up hope or to be in a state of despair because we are not yet there in the Middle East. We will get there, and this organization will help us to get there.
have a decisive role in the achievement of our national goals, and in particular our American Palestinian community, since it is here in Washington that our battle for independence and statehood will be either won or lost. I remain confident that America will listen to our cry for freedom out of captivity and bondage. Today, we Palestinians, we do not invite America to sacrifice a traditional friend, Israel. We are offering America an additional one, Palestine.
I know I visited the ATFP office right when you guys started up a couple of years ago. How long you been around now? 3 years. So, and I stopped in your office, and I know it's a small staff that does a lot of work. And a lot of people know how much hard work they do, but a lot of people don't know how much they party. Casual Friday, huh? Osley wears like flip-flops. He wears flip-flops. It's Flip-Flop Friday. I'm happy to be here. You know, my dad is Palestinian and my mom is Mormon. Are there any other Palestinian Mormons here? It's a one-way ticket to atheism right there.